Hello and welcome to another episode of the Solo Gamer Podcast. This is episode number 75. My name is Ian and I am Coyce. I'm Coyce.
Of course.
Of course.
Joe Pesci joining us on the podcast.
I thought you were attempting to say like poised, like I'm poised to do something, and
No,
I'm like,
it's
all right.
just sometimes you speak and the brain just doesn't quite match up everything it
Yeah,
needs
man.
to do.
English is pretty hard.
Didn't have the full motor function happening there, and so I think that's all that happened. Of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle and Taylor joining us. Gentlemen, welcome welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good
Thank
to be
you.
here,
Heck
as
yeah.
always.
I know. How did this week feel? Just as far as like I know I like checking in because I feel like every week's a little different, and sometimes it feels like it's been a really long time. This one a little bit less so for me. I was like, oh yeah, cool. The show's tonight. Like I feel better today than the last couple weeks have been like kind of rough, and I just have more energy. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to have you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, me too.
Catch us up, you guys. I guess we'll just make it so you guys don't run into each other. We'll do one at a time. Taylor, catch us up on your week, man. What's been going on in the life of Taylor?
It's been good, man. It's been good. Still, working my new job. I'm about a month in now, so I'm still finding my groove. But I think I'm hitting my stride a little bit more. Specifically, I think I'm getting a little bit busier at work, but not in a way that's stressful or tiring. It just feels like, I've hit the point now where I'm like at like a full day's capacity, and I'm like doing a really good job at it right now. So I think I've hit the groove on it throughout the end of this year, and I think it's only going to probably get easier as things slow down for the holidays. So it's been good. I've been feeling very good lately.
Love that. Absolutely
Nice.
love to hear that, man. And I know it's the first month or so or 2 months of a job is always interesting, right? Like you're not quite sure where you fit in yet, or like what people are expecting of you for a while, and then eventually it's just like I don't know. For me, it always seems like you get that first week where you're like, oh, I'm working, like that.
Yeah.
People are giving me responsibilities and then just leaving me alone with them. And so it's like that's when it always starts. I kind of hit the realization. I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah, and that's kind of like the like milestone that I've hit this week is that like I'm truly kind of on my own, sort of figuring stuff out, and it's been challenging. The company I work with is like pretty much 100% remote, and they have little offices like here and there interspersed throughout North America, but for the most part, I'm kind of like relying on myself to answer a lot of my own questions and sort of like going and getting the answer, So, and usually like when I reach out to somebody, like since there's so many disparate little offices and people that are involved in my process, like I've asked people a question and they've been like, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know how to do that. So I've been like, okay, well, I guess I'll figure it out. So it's been challenging, but not in a bad way. It's been a lot of fun. So
Good.
That's good.
Yeah, really glad to hear that, man. Relieved. We've talked before, like having a terrible job makes all of life just very challenging.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Just ruins.
it's hard to do anything.
Yeah,
Because like not only is work horrible, but then you like get off and you're like so exhausted from it that you don't want to do anything when you're finally free. And so then you just wait for the next day of misery.
Yeah.
Oh man, it takes me back.
like the only time you feel even okay is when you don't work the next day.
Yeah.
And even then it's like, if you're off on the weekends, right? You've got Friday night, and it's finally the weekend, and it's like you can't even really enjoy it until like Saturday is when you start
Right.
to feel finally like away from that.
Yeah, it's like Sunday morning, you're like finally relaxed, and then you remember it's Sunday. You got to go back.
Yeah. Oof.
If you're
Sunday
lucky
scaries.
enough to get some weekends off. The funny thing is, like, if you had told me 15 years ago, like, hey, when you're in your mid 30s, you're going to be working typically Monday through Friday, with the occasional overtime weekend, like, and not work on the weekends and no nights and no food and no retail, no customer, like a very little customer interaction, I would be like, sign me the fuck up right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I try to remember that, but it's easier said than done. And yeah, I like my job now, but I've had some real bad ones previously. I've been lucky thanks to Taylor. Actually, Taylor actually is responsible for my entire career. I don't know if you know that, Kyle.
Oh, I didn't know that. So he got you in C.H. Robinson then, or
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
which then now that is now my like profession. I'm like a professional transportation and logistics person because of that
and it's like
job.
a specific skill set that you can only get through the experience,
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's like all of a sudden you have this specialty experience that can get you hired almost anywhere. Depending on how desperate you are, you can pretty much get hired in that industry instantly in a number of
Yeah,
ways.
I totally
Yeah.
feel that. I'm in kind of like an adjacent,
Yes,
you know,
you are
type of
absolutely.
field where it's like you don't go to school for this, and so like once you're like good in that field, it's like you're invaluable to a lot of different companies,
Mhm.
and anybody would take you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Taylor, you're totally right. And Taylor was working at a temp agency at the time, like many years ago. And I was working at Discover Card, and then
Mhm.
I wanted to quit that job really badly,
Yeah.
so I did. And Taylor hooked me up with someone because you had just started there, I think.
Yeah,
At
it was
that
like
time.
I wasn't like fully on the job yet, but I
Yeah.
knew like people that had worked there that were like, they're always looking for candidates. So I was
Mhm.
like, hey, here's a good resume. So
Yeah, and that was
What
it.
remind me, and what was it before C.H. Robinson? Was that?
I worked at Discover Card.
Oh, right, yeah,
I was doing collections.
yeah.
Ironically, and then like for a minute there, I was gonna get another food job in between, but then like that all fell through and it didn't work out and all that stuff. So, and then I didn't have a job for like 3 weeks. It was horrible.
yeah,
There's a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
of days in there that were like, this is cool, but it was like surrounded by. I don't know if you guys have seen the Friends episode where they talk about the fear. I don't know. Have you does
Not
that ring a
familiar.
bell? There's a Friends episode where someone I think it like Rachel, I think, hates her job, and everyone starts telling her that she should quit, and she's like, "But what would I do?" And like, "Yeah, but that's the point. You have the fear, and then you're motivated to look for a job." And I guess thinking about the fear, and I had it. I was like, "Oh my god, I need something." So it just kind of worked out. And then C.H. Robinson, I loved that place. I worked there for 6.5 years,
Yeah.
and that ended up being my like college education. Because now
Yeah.
I got hired by a company specifically for my experience at C.H. Robinson, and that's
Yeah,
where I am
that's
right
awesome.
now. So yeah, super cool. Just all the ways that all of our lives interact and over time. And,
Yeah, I love that stuff. That's why I like being in the field I'm in, man. It's it's unfortunately been very up and down. It's been a roller coaster of like layoffs and a bunch of other unfortunate stuff, but the stories like that are the reason why I love doing it. So hopefully I can do it for a long time.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think this is going to be it, man. Like I feel like you're going to get your foot in and you'll be in somewhere long enough to where even if things continue to like not go well, they're going to retain. They're going to keep. It's just tough to like keep restarting.
Yeah,
I hate being the new guy.
100%.
Takes a lot of effort to keep doing that. So,
Well, unless you work for Microsoft.
yeah, but then again,
And even then, yeah.
I bet you the recruiters are not having a great time.
No.
Oh, yeah.
They probably
No.
were getting
Yeah.
laid off with everybody else.
Please
Yeah.
come in.
They were probably the
we
first
won't
ones.
fire you.
Unfortunately, they
We're
were probably
gonna-
the first ones.
We're going to talk about Microsoft a little bit here. We'll jump into the show, but Kyle, just catch us up a little bit, man. It's always good to see you. I obviously we just saw each other on Sunday, but wanted to check in and see how you're doing, man. How's your week? Catch all of us up.
Yeah, man, not much. I took the week off of going to the gym, which surprisingly left me with less energy, I found, throughout the entire week.
That makes sense.
I think a
that
lot of it
makes
was just me just really trying to like take every moment I could to just lay down and rest, to be honest. Outside of that, though, honestly, when it comes to games, I was just not in the mood to really try to do anything, which meant that I played a whole lot of Total War.
Nice.
There you go.
Because like I can just kind of, numb my brain a little bit and just take my time with each turn and kind of enjoy all the little tiny little micro things that you're doing to manage everything. So that's been fun. I've gone through a couple different campaigns and nothing special with that, but currently playing with Empire again, and I'm excited. There's new DLC coming out. There's going to be a total overhaul for Norska, that part I don't really care about, but there's going to be a new lord for the High Elves, which I'm definitely down to play. So, and then I think Slaanesh is getting a couple lords as well.
This is going to tie actually directly into one of my choices for our topic later. It's funny that this was what
Perfect.
you were talking about. How funny is that? Well, okay. So you kind of walked us in there, man. What you've been playing. So mostly Total War for you this week.
Yeah, pretty much exclusively Total War, especially with work being. I'm kind of getting it's been kind of nice. My boss is, it's not nice for her. She's going to be out of work for a couple months.
Wow.
But for us, it's like definitely. She's been kind of just getting prepared for leaving in a sense. So work's been like really chill. It's just like essentially just not having a manager for like the last week.
It's like having a substitute teacher for
yeah. Watching a movie today.
Yeah.
Wheeling in the VCR.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm staying available on the phone and just playing Total War in the background, So it's been a good time.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I today is my only work from home day. And the nice thing is for me, when I work from home, I have an identical setup to the office. So I have like the same dock, the same 2 monitor setup, the same stand-up desk that goes on top of the like set top, and I can stand it. It's like the exact same setup. So when I work from home, there's like, I'm not slower because I'm only on one little laptop screen or,
right.
It's the exact same thing. And I can just stand over there and just work and work and work. And so then, but the nice thing is when I take my lunch, I can take a lunch and do something fun. It's,
right.
Just kind of cool. Cause usually I come home on my lunch hour and I take a late lunch and then I just come home and I work the last little bit of the day remote. And I'll just take the dogs for a walk or something. But today, my Wednesdays are always different. It's like it's in the middle of the day. I was like, cool, I'm going to go do something. So today, on my lunch, I made Kyle and I have been talking about getting going on a little football podcast side project thing that we can bring.
Very nice.
We can bring people onto, so we can talk about specific teams and things because him and I have specific teams, so we can like bring different like rotating guests on to talk about things going on with different teams because we both know so many people with all these different fandoms from all over the place. It'd be kind of cool, like a fun way to bring people on, and then Kyle and I can do some of that. So I was like making some messing with Canva and making some like art for that, and just messing around. So yeah,
it's funny you mentioned that too, because I was actually we haven't even really talked about that, but I was actually thinking earlier today that I was like, man, it'd be cool to like, I know of a couple friends that are pretty passionate about their teams. It'd be cool to just have people pop in here and there to talk about how their teams are doing,
Well, and I think that helps. No one knows a football team or a sports team like a really passionate fan. Like I don't know anything about the offensive line depth on the Tennessee Titans or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, but somebody who's as much of a sicko as we are about our teams does, and so they can answer things and can kind of change the like feeling of a conversation, and add in a new perspective. And I think it'd be really cool to have like guests and stuff on it. I mean, obviously Taylor, if you're able to do it, like that would be a perfect example of what we're talking about, like. And we have enough crossover
100%.
I feel like we have quite a bit of crossover in our like little community too. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I can always suggest fans too outside of I know a lot of people that follow some random teams too.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. I don't imagine I'd have very great things to say at this point. So But
it's been a rough one.
if you guys ever want me on, though, I'd be down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dude,
We want those takes too, man.
I was gonna say, like, when was the last time you watched a podcast where someone was flipping out about how pissed they are at their team that wasn't entertaining?
Gosh, I know.
We watch Rich Eisen all the time, and it's just like his best episodes are when the Jets have something horrible that happens.
Oh yeah, when he's just like lamenting about his being a Jets fan is some of the funniest shit.
I've been known to have some funny Arizona Cardinals rants too, man.
Oh yeah, man, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my god, team pisses me off so much.
Dude, that's sports, man. Like, trust. That's the one way I can tell you I can understand what it's like because I'm a Mariners fan, so I know, man. You know, so yeah, so we won't go too far down that road. It's just something I was thinking about, and something we'll bring up another time once we have it a little more solidified. So keep your eyes out for that. So my like kind of what I've been playing situation is interesting. I have not played anything this week, but that's just because the last couple of weeks have just been really just weird and kind of just stressful and hasn't felt great. And I don't know. It's just been it's been an odd few weeks. Work has been odd and there's things going on there. But I haven't really been able to focus. We've been busy on the weekends, just like one thing after another. I can see the road ahead is like paved very smoothly for a lot of video games. And I'm ready for it. And
heck yeah.
So
there we go. There's a light.
I'm off this weekend and I have no plans. And that's the first time that those two things have coincided in a very long time.
Hey man, what are you doing this weekend?
Hey, well, I'll see you on Sunday at least.
I know.
But the fun thing is that not only am I going to finish Alien this weekend for sure, like I have the time.
Yeah, I got to do that.
But a game just came out. Actually, it's available now. And I want to play it really bad. And that's Anno 117.
Ooh.
Which is
I remember you talking about
the
this.
Roman era city builder. It's a Ubisoft franchise. I've never really played the franchise before. They have like a sci-fi one. There's Anno 1800. And it's basically like a city builder with like a little bit of real-time strategy combat and trade and stuff. So it's kind of like it looks different from Total War Civilization, where the things you're seeing are only representative of a larger whole that you're not seeing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So like in Total War, where you're looking at a map and if you're playing Rome Total War and Rome is there, it's like a little tiny, it's like a piece on a board game, right? And it's like you can click on it and there's details, but this is like you're building the city and you're doing the trade with like, and the ships, you're like physically sending trade ships back and forth. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm watching a video. It looks absolutely
and the reviews
beautiful.
Have just been 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, like across
That's
the board.
awesome.
So
I
it's
love the
blowing
name.
up. Name is awesome. And so I'm like all completely ready to immerse myself into some like really nerdy city building, like political strategy game. It just sounds great. It just sounds perfect. So I will be definitely talking about that next week.
Cool.
On the show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's all I have to say for what I've been playing, because I've barely touched anything at all this week, but I think that'll change going forward. Kyle, did you have anything other than Total War, or that was pretty much what you've got going?
Yeah, I was thinking about playing Alien Isolation on yesterday, because I had the day off, thankfully, but then that came around and I was just like, man, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, don't force it.
Not yet. Yeah.
Don't force it.
But I do plan to just finish it out here. How would you pronounce this? Is it Pax or Pox?
I would say Pax.
Pax
Mm-hmm.
Romana.
Pax Romana. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a cool name. I like it.
It is.
Yeah. The PAX thing is sort of like, it's like the symbol of like, there's our show sheet. Move that over here. So like SPQR is like the Senate and people of Rome is like the Pax was like I think it's more like a time period of like the
Okay.
Golden Age from like Augustus to between like 0 and 200 or something like that, or like a little bit later than that. But it's like Pax Romana is like the time. It's like what everyone thinks of when they think of Rome. The gladiators, the giant Colosseum, Rome at its height, the scaled armor, the big shields, like
Russell Crowe.
the most yes, like that era. That movie is obviously not historically accurate in any way, but it does. It's the way it's like presented and looks is very well done there, and that's like 980, which would have been. I feel like that's right during that period where it was like the absolute height of Roman influence and power.
Yeah, it seems like you really start from the ground up though, where you're like actually paving the roads and all that. So that's pretty cool.
So like it's cool. So like the idea that gets you into it is there's a campaign and there's also just like an endless mode, just like for someone who's already played the campaigns or whatever. But the campaign is basically you're a new Roman governor who's been tasked with settling an island off the coast of Italy.
Cool.
So it's like it's a fake place, right? You can do whatever you want with it, this is taking place during the height of Rome. So you're like you're building along with the Roman Empire, and then in the campaign, after you've built your city, you do such a good job that you're tasked with settling Britain. Or Albion, as they call it, the kind of mystical island of Albion, so then you have to go to Britain and either build a Roman settlement and Romanize it, or start working with the natives and build like a hybrid kind of thing. So there's different paths you can take.
Cool.
Interesting.
And so you'll either build like a very Roman looking city in Britain, like they did with London, Londinium, as it was called. And then, or you can choose to kind of take more of the Britain style and build that way, which is like huts that are built on sticks in the swamp. You're not gonna drain the swamp. You're just gonna live among the natural world the way it is. So kind of a cool take on all of that, and I'm just excited to jump in and play it, get started, start building a city. It just looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that.
That's fun.
Taylor, what have you been playing this week?
A couple things this week for me. New hardware, which is always fun. But start us off, I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, so I've joined Kyle on the journey there through Bohemia. But yeah, finished up Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 last week. I think I clocked in at around like 47 hours. And that was a pretty like beeline through the story kind of playthrough. I played a couple side quests here and there. Unfortunately, I didn't get the like edition that like came with the DLC, but I saw that there were like several DLC quests that you could have played that I've heard kind of set up the second one pretty well. But at this point, it already kind of like beaten the game and was like, well, I don't know. We'll just see what happens if I just start the second one. So played through the first one. Absolutely loved it. I think it's probably like the most hardcore RPG I think I've ever played, just in terms of like how much it does not hold your hand and how grounded and realistic it is. So it seems like from the 2 or 3 hours I've played of the second one, it seems to be more of the same, except with a little bit slightly more accessible focus. But it seems like they retained all of the systems from the first one. And I'm not sure if maybe they like had streamlined some of it or done. I know the speech seems to be a little bit different than it was in the first one, but I'm not sure. I haven't like gotten into too many scenarios where I've been able to use it yet, but I don't know. Have they changed that pretty drastically, Kyle, or?
I'm trying to remember how it went in the first one. I haven't played it in so long.
So they had in the first one, I remember they had kind of 3 dialogue options that you could skill check based off of. It was like a royalty kind of option. There was like an intimidation option, and then there was like a I don't even know what the third one was. It was like an urgency,
Yeah.
like you're like kind of like hurrying somebody up to do something. And then in the second one, it seems like they have like 5 or 6 of those little skill checks
Yes,
that you can.
and it's about all the skills that you have, really. So that's one thing I do like about it is, you know, as you level up your skills, whether it's thievery or um the scholastic tree, which you're just reading books and stuff, or if you're into alchemy, stuff like that. Certain dialogues will come up with different ways to maneuver around it, depending on, and you can select which one you want to do. Some of them are pretty funny too. Like I've definitely messed it up, and like Henry doesn't
Yeah.
like my Henry doesn't really like, you know, let's say he hasn't like read a single book, and I choose like the scholastic option, and then he says something really stupid.
Yeah.
It's really bad, and everybody just goes, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Like,
So good.
so they're pretty good about it too. Where it's like, honestly, that was kind of worth it. I'm glad I messed that up.
Right. Just to get the funny dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It seems like a really fun game so far, and the combat seems similar too. I think a lot of people were saying that they made the combat a little bit easier, and it seems to be the same, except instead of having like a pentagonal kind of option for like how you swing your sword, they've kind of taken out the 2 bottom rows and kind of focused it into one. So instead of doing like an upward slash like from the first one, you're kind of doing like a stab technique, and they've kind of removed that. And that's the only like big thing that I've noticed about the combat, but it seems fairly similar, like with the parrying and riposte and stuff. So
Yeah, it definitely it starts to get more advanced as you go, and it's cool because it's based upon what type of weapons you're using and stuff. You know, like so far, like I started off, I really loved the idea of having just a long like halberd, like, and just, you know, from a distance using the length to fight with it. That was like really fun for me, but then I realized how effective and useful the longsword is.
Yeah.
The 2-handed sword, you can do a lot of different stuff with that, and it's still similar to like utilizing like a halberd. It's got its long range still. It's still got its advantages, but it's obviously better with blocking. And there's a lot of different cool moves that you can do. Like outside of just parrying, there is a thing where you can actually be the aggressor. And the moment that you see them swinging on you, if you're able to predict what angle they're coming from, you can go in and actually attack and hit them before they hit you, which is a form of defense, really.
That's awesome.
So yeah, there's a lot of different things that they put into the game. It's not just standard like, you know, parry or block and swing. You know, you can actually be the aggressor and notice that they're swinging and actually attack them first and be a little bit quicker, and just come in aggressive. It's cool. There's just a lot of different ways to play it. And then, of course, you can decide not even to fight at all. You can just sneak in the night and stab them in the neck. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to get deeper into it. It seems fun. I like I said, I'm only like maybe 3 hours into it. I think I just got to like the first town where they kind of drop you in and are like, all right, here you go, kind of thing. Has a pretty long intro sequence, but I think
yes.
the sequence does a really good job of like teaching you the systems. So the nice thing is that since I played the first one, I feel like I already had kind of a head start on it and felt like I could navigate through it pretty easily, but I could see it being a very good tutorial for somebody that's like just getting into the universe. They touch on everything, and they do it in a way that doesn't feel weird either. Like they take you through like alchemy and like bandaging yourself and like managing your like hunger and stuff like that, and it doesn't feel like they're like doing it just for the sake of doing it. Like there's story reasons for why you would want to learn like how to make a potion or whatever. So
Yes.
it feels like they're teaching you organically instead of it just being like like a menu popping up, let's say, and teaching you how to do it. Like
Yeah.
I think the first one had a little bit of that, where like a big like complicated menu would pop up on the screen that you'd have to click through like 5 pages of text, and you're like, what am I even doing? So
Yeah. And every skill actually is useful and has a purpose, which I really like. I've never, and this is hard to pull off because it's a long game, but this is like one of the few games where throughout the entire time. I didn't feel like anything was like forced or gimmicky or like that I didn't enjoy doing. It's like there are tedious things, but they all have a real purpose, whether it's building the story, teaching you about the character that you're playing, or developing a skill set that you're later going to use. Everything that I've done has so far at some point come back later and made me go, oh, that was cool. I'm glad they made me do that.
Right.
That's so rare.
Yeah.
When you
their onboarding is fantastic. I've loved it.
When you describe that, I mean, I feel like the only other developer that I'm thinking of right now, maybe two developers that do that as well would be CD Projekt Red and like Rockstar North.
Yeah.
There's
100%.
There's some of that in Red Dead 2, the way things unfold and things that you do that you don't even really think about, and then realize that it actually had an impact and something happened without you, and then it comes back and you realize that this moment that you had earlier was actually went off and made ripples throughout the world. That's the kind of stuff I used to think of when a kid, like, this is what games will be when I'm older,
For sure.
Oh boy.
That kind of shit.
Oh, for sure.
And there's only a few games still that have actually even gotten close to doing that. Funny enough.
Yeah.
I know.
Very cool. So you've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You got the Switch 2.
I did get the Switch 2.
You got the Switch 2. You teased the new hardware a little bit there. What's been going on with the Switch 2, man?
Yeah, so I just felt like it would be a good time to jump in. I've been absolutely dying to play this other game that's on my list here this week, so I picked up Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Oh yeah,
it's the first 3D Donkey Kong game since Donkey Kong 64, so it's been a long time. I know, like, kind of in the Nintendo circles I've been in, like, people have been like heavily anticipating a 3D Donkey Kong game for like ever. So the fact that they finally announced it was kind of like the community was like really excited about it. So I got really excited. The Donkey Kong Country games on the Super Nintendo were like some of the first video games I've ever played. It was like that and Crash Bandicoot on the PS1. So it's a franchise and a group of characters that's very near and dear to my heart. So yeah, I picked up the Switch 2. I picked up DK Bonanza. I got the Mario Kart 8 Mario Kart World bundle, so I did get a chance to play a little bit of that. Just dipped into it a little bit, ran a few races. Not a ton to speak about. It's kind of Mario Kart. It's better for sure, but it's it's not like there's anything drastically different about the system.
You didn't pick it up and be like, "Wow,
what you're doing.
This is the best $80 I could have spent."
Yeah, no, it was like I couldn't see myself getting it like separately, so I was like, well, I'll just get the bundle where it just comes with it.
Yeah, because then you get it for like $50, I think, at that point. Which
and I have a group of friends that, right, 100%. Well, and it's like I have a group of friends who that play multiplayer Nintendo games, so I wanted like at least one game that I could play with them, if we wanted to hop into a game together. So but yeah, the Switch 2 is very nice. It feels kind of like the Switch 1. I think it has a little bit more of a slick, mature feel to it, though, like as mature as Nintendo can get. But the actual like console itself has this like matte black finish to it that kind of feels a lot more sleek than the Nintendo Switch 1 did.
It looked good. I remember watching the reveal and being like, oh yeah, it feels like the Switch went from being like 9 years old to 18.
You're right. Yeah. that's exactly how it feels. So it's cool. It's got a better screen as well. I think it's also an LCD screen, so it's not OLED, which kind of sucks. I wish that they would have put that in this model, because I felt like that was some.
They'll release that next in a couple years or whatever.
Which I never get. I don't know why. The mid-generation refresh, I almost never pick up. I don't know. Do you guys feel like you ever have bought into the mid-generation refresh consoles whenever they've come out?
Only once for me.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like when they come up with like the increased memory version, or
like the Pro or like the Slim.
Yeah. No, I've never.
Oh. twice then for me.
I know you have.
It was that same generation though.
Yeah,
That same because that generation was really long.
it was.
It wasn't as long as the one before it, but we didn't get any refresh options. Like the 360 and the PS3 didn't ever. I mean, they had like a Slim, but I didn't. That's just I'm not going to buy a PS3 Slim back then. You know,
You had like the black. There was the black version, I think, right, of the 360. They had
Yeah,
the
I think 360 came out with
expanded.
one. Yeah.
360. I had a black Elite one, but that's because that's what I bought after the first one went kaput,
Yeah,
and I had money. That Microsoft gave me my money back fully for that console.
yeah, that's good.
The first one they fixed. Because the first one, I had the 3 rings. They fixed it. They sent it back, and then it started to freeze again
Oh, no.
in 2010 because I was playing Mass Effect 2, and I was near the end of the fucking game.
Oh,
kept-
jeez.
And it kept freezing. And that was the first time I played Mass Effect 2. It was like as it was out. And I sent it back in, and they like notified me later, like, I'm sorry, but due to this is the second time this one's been in, and they gave me a bunch of money. It was crazy,
okay.
man. That was nuts. They must have. I can't imagine how much they lost
Oh,
Yeah.
fixing those and all that. But they and so I took that, and I was working at the time, and I went and bought a 360 Elite, and that one
There
worked.
you
That
go.
one worked for a long time. It still works. I still have it. I could plug it in to work right now. But and then so the reason I was bringing that up is because I wanted the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
I remember wanting that, and I went for that, and then I got the Xbox One X as well because the Xbox One was like super underpowered,
Yeah.
and it would run games at like 900p and stuff.
Yeah.
That the PS4 base was running at 1080p, and that was like, what the fuck is this? What are you guys doing? And then they released the Xbox One X like right as Game Pass came out, and they had the reason I even got it was because Microsoft did a thing where you could get a interest-free, like $50 a month, 0 interest.
That's right. I remember that.
Take it right now. I was like, okay. If it's not
Wow.
it's not credit. I didn't have to apply for the credit, and it didn't count. There was no interest. I was like, yeah, okay, of course I'll do this. And that was awesome. So, and
Wow.
that thing was sick. I love that console. My dad has my One X right now. That was like the last time Xbox was like really great.
Right.
It's like that transition period when Phil Spencer first came in and like saved the brand and had the like original version of Game Pass and all that. It was like everyone was like, man, and they were doing all the backwards compatibility projects,
stoked,
and
man.
original X. And like you can put your Xbox disc like into the Series X or into the One X, and it'll work. And everyone was like, what? It was
Dude,
they
yeah.
were so great. Xbox was so good when they were losing and hadn't figured out how to ruin everything yet.
Right. I know. God, that was a great time.
So I fell for the refresh in that generation, but I don't have a PS5 Pro, and obviously I didn't buy any of the new Series X things.
Yeah.
I didn't even know PS5 Pro is out.
So I've done it a couple times, but I think PS5 or PS4 Pro I ended up getting, and luckily since then, I mean, even my first 360, I was very thankful I never had any Red Ring of Death issues with it, so I never had to, like, it worked the entire time I had it, which was great. And I still have it to this day, actually. It's in this closet over here.
Hell yeah, dude.
In a box. I never got rid of it.
Don't get rid of your hardware. Never get rid of your hardware.
$750.
Yeah, hey, it's $750 is. I thought it was $799 when it started, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't it
$749.99.
Ooh, $50 off, everybody.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, no, it's just not worth it to me.
No.
Really,
I would get that anniversary edition PS5. That thing looked
Dude,
excellent.
Dude,
Have you
anniversary-
seen those-
I have a
the
controller.
gray.
is it Adidas or?
I bought a controller. I bought a anniversary edition controller because I was
Dude,
like,
that
I have
controller
to have
is
it.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I know. I wish I had
Very
money
good.
at the time. I would have got one too. Actually,
30th
I was hoping I
anniversary.
could find one. Maybe.
Dude, all the 30th anniversary stuff was so awesome.
They came out with sneakers that look so cool.
Oh yes, I think I sent these to you.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I did. Yes, dude.
Dude, they look
did you find
great.
them? Share the image
Okay.
if you can. It's at the bottom next to the button that says leave. It says share, and then it's I think screen, and then it'll show you like a grid of your screens. You just click on the screen that has it, and it should show us, and then you can just click like stop sharing or exit or whatever.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I'm gonna go over here then, and
hey, there we go. That's just awesome.
Wait 1 second.
Feature. Good job, Riverside.
There they are, right
look
there.
Look at those Reeboks.
Aren't those sick?
Love the old school logo too.
I would pay a lot for those.
Are there more pictures?
Those are
of them?
dope.
There were specific ones that they were releasing. There was one they were releasing in the UK. Doesn't look
a
like
whole
it.
ton of ads.
There's one they were releasing in the UK and one they were releasing in the US, and they were both awesome.
Looks like there's marbles.
How cool.
Funny.
But anyways, yeah, I mean these just look amazing. The classic like colors too.
The gray.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
With the little, I like the higher top ones. I think those are the ones that came out in the US. On the bottom right of the picture, the basketball
those
style,
look good.
those are the American ones. The
Okay.
most sneaker like ones at the top are UK, and then the really techno-y, sandal-y things in the middle I think were Japan.
those are all dope.
So
I
those
like
are those are the
Yeah.
3 different regional ones that they released.
I'd
I always
take 'em all.
wanted the Reeboks, that the Aliens Reeboks that Sigourney Weaver wore in Aliens. The
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
red and white high tops. They released those at one point as like a celebration. It was like whatever 30th anniversary of Aliens, something like that.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, as far as the Switch 2 is concerned, it's a
Sorry.
nice little machine. No, you're good. I was trying to remember where I was going with that, but
that was a tangent.
no, the Switch 2 is really cool. I'm excited to play more stuff on it. It's got HDR and it looks very, very nice on my TV. So
Very nice.
the colors pop and it looks very nice. And yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza has been fun. It's been it was made by the team that did Mario Odyssey that came
that's
out
right. Yep.
several years ago, and it's got a lot of cool physics puzzles in it. It's got like an interesting like digging mechanic where like as Donkey Kong you're kind of punching through like rocks and stuff like that, so you're like burrowing underground and like making tunnels and stuff. It's a really cool, interesting system. And then you have like different layers that you're going down through where there's like different levels are associated with the different layers like in the Earth's crust, I guess. It's a really interesting little game, so I'm excited to play it a little bit more. But on the horizon, we've got Kirby Air Riders is coming out, which I'm excited about, and then Metroid Prime 4 is coming out in December, so I'm excited for that too.
I'm gonna have a hard time listening to you talk about that game when it comes.
Yeah.
out.
I'm excited, man. The only thing that sucks is I haven't played the second and the third one. So I don't know if I'll get around to it by then, but I definitely want to play the fourth one. So it sucks to not have that extra context, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's not much you can do, unfortunately. But
So-
I'm excited to hear more about it and hear more about just like how you're enjoying it as the longer you have it. I don't know. I feel like I didn't play my Switch enough. It's like the main thing that's keeping me from moving on to a 2 is like I just haven't gotten to it much, and I just feel like I'm worried that I'd spend the money and do the same thing.
Yeah, it's I'm excited to play some other stuff on it too. Like I know you kind of feel the same way, Ian. Like you have different series that you associate with different consoles. So
Oh, right. Yes, yes.
I want to get to Hollow Knight at some point, and that has always seemed like a Switch franchise to me.
Yeah.
So I want to play that and Silk Song, and then Hades too.
Oh, yeah.
I thought would be a good play on the Switch too. Also, I
Dude.
played the first one on Switch, and it was awesome. I loved it.
I love everything about Hades except for the game.
Yeah.
Like, I think the gameplay is excellent. It's a lot of fun. I just don't like roguelikes that much.
Yeah.
I just have
understandable.
it's like I am playing, it's really weird. I'm playing the game and I'm absolutely loving the characters. I'm loving the moment to moment combat and the dodging and the weaving and like all the different. It's super fun, and I make it a long ways, and then I die, and I know that I got to do it all over again. I'm just like, like it just it's something about losing that progress. I know that's part of it, but I just like it just kills my momentum every time, and I always end up falling off, even though the game is beautiful and wonderful and fun. It's such a good game. Like I always kind of want to play Hades, but then I never want to keep playing it to the end.
I have an interesting journey with roguelikes. I haven't historically been a fan of them either, but certain ones I've played have like really got me into it. Like I think the game that I think actually got me into the genre was Returnal. Like I just had a fucking blast with Eternal, man. That's probably one of the best games I've played like of this generation. And it's not saying a whole lot since, we're still pretty early into it, I feel like. And I think it's one of the few games that you can only play on new hardware also. But man, is that game fun. Especially co-op, like get together with a buddy. And it's a difficult game, but like with two people, you could have a lot of fun with it. I had such a great time with that game. I can't wait for I think it's Saros is the sequel that's coming out. Looks awesome. Can't wait.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I remember seeing that trailer for that. Yeah, same thing with that game. What a blast that game is. But I just like die a couple of times and I'm like back at the ship and I'm like, fuck this, man.
Yeah.
Just, like I don't want to play this again.
Yeah,
it happens to me every time because I love that game. Returnal is sick. Have you ever played that, Kyle?
I'm gonna be honest. I did play it, and I had to stop.
Yeah, I can't keep on it.
Yeah, it was like I played about like I just don't like that type of game where you die and then you like reset back to another point. I'm not into it, and I think it's a beautiful game, and the story seems cool.
Yeah, dude, you and I are the same in this way.
Yeah,
I totally get that. It's something that's taken me a while to kind of acquire the taste for, so I understand.
Yeah, that definitely is always kills my momentum, but I definitely appreciate it. It's fun to play for like 30 minutes, just to get a feel for them because they are easy to start playing and jump into and start getting good at, which is kind of part of the design. So
yeah,
that's cool. What else, man? Anything else before?
No, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Got us all caught up. So I'm pumped for this topic, but before we get into it, we got to do a little quick like emergency newscast here, you guys.
Yeah.
Just before the show, I texted you guys a YouTube video link that's Valve dropped today. And the reason I saw this was because I went to go check to see. I couldn't remember if Pax Romana, Anno 117, I couldn't remember if that had come out today or tomorrow. But I knew it was like this week, so I was logging onto Steam to check and see how much it was. And right there in front, as like an advertisement, is Steam talking about an entire unified hardware lineup that's releasing all in 2026.
Heck yeah!
And I didn't want to wait an extra week to discuss this.
Yeah.
What? I didn't hear
Crazy.
What a smart time for them to jump in, to be honest.
Yeah,
dude,
no kidding.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like, especially with that, you release the Steam Deck, and not only is it good from it doesn't have red rings of death kind of a situation, right? It works well, but you created an operating system that is designed for games, and you created like 30 million hyper obsessed cultists for your handheld.
Yeah.
It was like a proof of concept. It's like, yes, we can do this and we can do it well, and people will like it and people will buy it. And that as soon as that happened and they have the Steam OS, fuck it. Let's be what Xbox was always supposed to be.
Right.
That's kind of what it
especially
feels like.
with the downfall of Xbox. It's just kind of like, hold my beer if you guys don't want to do this.
Dude, I'm over here like I'll keep my Series X connected because it's my portal to my gigantic fucking Xbox library, which is really the only reason that haven't jumped off of that burning ship yet.
Yeah.
All my shit's on it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like Microsoft couldn't figure out that they were going to lose head to head to PlayStation. They stuck in that lane too long, and then they're like, "Hey, what about this idea? It'll take us a really long time to turn the boat and make it happen." And it's like Steam saw it coming and just beat them to it by like a year.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's nuts.
It's really perfect timing. And if they really nail it in this like pivotal moment for Xbox, man, is that like a knife to the heart right
You
there.
better come with it.
I think they're going
Yeah.
to.
I
I
think
mean,
that- I
they've
think
given
this
us
is it.
no reason not to think that it's going to be an excellent machine.
Yeah, and so I guess I didn't do a very good job as host here. We kind of jumped into the with, like cart before the horse situation. So what we're discussing is an announcement that Valve and Steam dropped today, stating that obviously they have their Steam Deck. They are adding to that selection of hardware a full-on console, which is running SteamOS, but you can still use as a home desktop PC if you'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
But it will run SteamOS, so it's just like it's a Steam video game console that has your library on it that will connect to your TV, and it even will run specific versions of the games if such a thing exists, and for your widescreen television.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome. They are releasing a VR/AR headset that connects and comes with a USB dongle that you can connect to either your new Steam machine console or your PC, and will use your likely much more powerful Wi-Fi signal to direct stream the games to your VR. So they're cutting out all of the extra shit that it takes to have VR via streaming using your Wi-Fi via a dongle, which is fucking brilliant, I think.
Yeah.
It's not from some fucking Microsoft, server hub in Quincy, Washington that has to bounce all the way to Phoenix or New York or wherever. It's literally everything that Xbox was hoping to do. It's just done in a better way.
Yeah.
Now, no pricing, right? Oh, and a controller.
Yeah.
They're also developing a controller that looks and functions like an Xbox controller, except for it has trackpads below the sticks.
Yeah.
Which is fucking brilliant. I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs right now, but I just couldn't believe it when I saw this today.
Yeah,
so
specs are pretty good too for the VR headset, and it's very similar to MetaQuest 3.
Okay, there you go. So, let's jump into it a little bit. Kyle, give me some of your thoughts, man. After watching this and seeing everything, what are you thinking about this?
I didn't get to watch it. I'm kind of just reviewing it as we're talking. But yeah, I mean, obviously we know with the Steam Deck, that's obviously, it was a huge success. A lot of things that they just really, hit out of the park, and it seems to be kind of a difficult thing for a lot of other companies to figure out. It seems like all the other handheld devices, outside of Nintendo are like really struggling to figure it out. I've seen a lot of complaints about all the other different handhelds that you don't really see about Nintendo or the Steam Deck. So that says a lot, and just their ability to really understand exactly what the customer is looking for and to actually execute on it. And then, yeah, like I said before, obviously with Xbox, dropping the ball so much, we've all talked about it that, we want to see a competitor for PlayStation, because that also means bad things for everybody, if not, right? So I'm excited for it. I trust in Steam. There hasn't really been anything that Steam has done that I haven't actually enjoyed. So it's kind of nice that we have somebody new to kind of champion that avenue that we've been looking for, especially with, Xbox, where I guess we should just say Microsoft just really, running it down. over the last, obviously it's been a while, but over the last year, it's been really bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how all of it works. Obviously I've been in the VR game a little bit as well, so it'd be cool if we could figure that out because, my one thing that I don't really like about the MetaQuest 3 is it's good. It's a good standalone VR headset, but when you try to do cross-compatible stuff like plugging it into your PC and trying to play games through Steam, it really seems to kind of struggle with it. So I think having a Steam VR headset specifically would actually kind of simplify that.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that because if I can play, there have been quite a few games that I've wanted to play. I really want to play something for the VR that is like kind of like a spaceship simulating type of game,
Some Elite Dangerous.
Yes, and I bought
Great
the game and everything specifically for that, and then I just couldn't get it to work properly on my MetaQuest 3, and it was so frustrating because I would love to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, I'm hopeful and excited, and I know that that Valve does a really good job with they really care, and they come out with some really finished products when they do come out with it. So, and really fairly priced when we look at what the Steam Deck is going for in comparison to other handhelds now. It's like, yeah, I love everything about it.
Yeah, and just a couple things I thought of just from some points you brought up, and then I would definitely want to hear from you, Taylor. You're mentioning the struggles with all of the handhelds that are not the Switch and or Valve. And I think the answer to that is just simply the fact that those two companies, Valve and Nintendo, they do one thing, and they develop, well, now I guess they do two. They develop hardware and they develop software. Like for video games, that's it. Like that's all they do.
Right.
And Microsoft is just a giant unwieldy mega ship, right? It's like Xbox is like used to be this backwater where the jockey nerds went, and they were like in the basement of Microsoft, over here in Bellevue, like,
yeah.
And and it wasn't until they started spending tens of billions of dollars on companies where they got the ire, and now we are where we are. But the idea that those other PCs, those handheld PCs, they use Windows, and Windows they just haven't had they're not aligned, right? Sorry, people who don't like sports, but here we go. They're not aligned like the best like NFL teams or professional sports teams have like a alignment from top to bottom. The owner, the manager, the personnel, the players, the coaching, like all of it, they're all like kind of on the same page, and they agree with what progress looks like. And Microsoft is not aligned, right? They have their fractions. Yeah. It's clearly that there's these people and those people, and they're like infighting, and they're not doing, and unfortunately, that's just what happening is they had a good idea. They had this idea. This was Xbox.
This is their idea.
This is their new idea. Ever since they bought Activision, they're like, okay, fuck it. We're not going to do the big like hardware PlayStation, subsidized hardware thing. We're going to release it everywhere, and we want to be everywhere, and we want people to have like this seamless library of games between anywhere they want to play. And Steam is like, sweet, here you go.
I know. Well, what's crazy about it too, now that you're thinking about it, the thing that really I think Xbox is probably freaking out about this right now.
I bet they are.
Yeah. Because it's not just about the new systems that they're coming out with hardware wise, but it's also when you think about software wise, like everybody has Steam if you have a PC. And that means everybody has a pretty lengthy catalog already at this point if they've been PC gamers for a while. So now we're talking about your software becoming obsolete now if you're Xbox and Microsoft, because this isn't just about the machines. If the machines really nail it, I'm thinking about how I don't see the necessity for anything from Xbox at that point.
Yeah. Other than just, for me, and for you maybe to an extent. I don't know how many games you own on there, but that's the
Yeah.
only thing. That's the only thing. It's all that has me tied to Xbox, right? I mean, there's some nostalgia in there, I guess, but I'm not going to be like one of those like Nintendo fans that's like thinks that Nintendo does no wrong as they're abused by Nintendo, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I certainly will acknowledge everything that Microsoft has done wrong, and I'm upset about it. It's just that I have thousands of dollars in my Xbox library, and I'm very hesitant to just be like, oh well, and put the
Yeah.
Series X away, and get the Steam machine, and just okay, it's all gone. I'm going to start rebuying all these games again. That's the one thing that's tough, but I'm still tempted by this. So Taylor, get us into your thoughts a little bit before we head on to our topic. What does this make you feel? Are you going to jump in? Is this going to be your next Xbox or what?
Yeah, no, I think I might jump in, but I think the big sticking point for me, first off, backing up just slightly, I think the product that they're selling here that I am the most interested in is going to be the home console variant. So that Steam machine that's supposed to act like a home console / PC.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what it's going to be priced at.
Yes.
That is the product that I'm most interested in. But just like Xbox's version of it, there is a certain price that they will sell it at where I'm probably not going to be very interested in it.
Yeah.
So it's really going to depend upon that.
Are they subsidizing it, or is Valve subsidizing, or is Valve not subsidizing? That's the question.
It's so hard to say, and I think it's also a very. I think there's also a calculated decision to not share pricing right now as well, because I think they know that Xbox is trying to compete in the same space, and I think they're maybe banking on Xbox announcing with their price. So I almost feel like both of these two entities have a gun to their both of their heads to see who blinks first.
Really dragged their feet on naming the price for the Ally X.
Yeah,
they didn't have the price out until like 2 weeks before it launched.
That really bothered me.
Because they knew it was. They were like, no one's gonna like this, so we just gotta wait and hold it as long as we can.
Yeah, I think
they
did blink.
So
I think
shady.
on the price for Series X though, right when it came to PlayStation. I think there was a point in time where PlayStation 5 was announced, Xbox Series X was announced. None of them had a price on it yet, so we're like, okay, who's going to be the first one to
And then they
drop
were
the
both
first
the same.
domino? Yeah,
They were both the same this time, but yeah, that's just a different. That was the final. Sometimes you're living a historical moment and you don't know it. The PS5 and the Series X were, I feel like those were probably the last like fully subsidized consoles.
Yeah.
I don't think Sony can't afford to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, at least currently, the way things are right now with tariffs and everything, I can't see Sony, which is a much smaller company than Microsoft, could afford to subsidize these kinds of higher rates, right? It's one thing back before when tariffs were at a different rate, things were more affordable and they could afford to subsidize, they would make the money back. More than affording it, it was part of their strategy. But that strategy just right now in the current environment just doesn't feel plausible to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's good. It's a very interesting time. I will dog on Xbox all day long. I'm right there with you guys. The one thing I'll say at this point is that their communication's been so poor over everything. At the very least, this last time they were talking about their next console that they're hinting at, they were like, it's going to be super premium. They're not hiding the words or the language or trying to make it not. It's like, okay, got it, cool. So this thing's going to be like $1,300 or whatever.
Yeah,
is my guess. It's going to be a PC.
And that's the sense that I'm getting from this Steam machine too. Like I'm thinking it's probably going to be in like the $800 to like $1,000 region, which I don't know would be interesting. I think that maybe prices me out just slightly, but I think in terms of the solution or the hardware that's being sold by both Xbox or Valve, I think I would probably go with the Steam machine over whatever the new Xbox is.
Well, you got to think about it too. In my opinion, is I don't think you're going to see PlayStation with the next generation. They're going to be $800 to $1,000.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was saying. They're not going to subsidize their consoles.
So even if Steam, I mean, we are expecting it to be around that. I think $800 to $1,000 is at this point fair and what we should be expecting everybody to be doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would rather pay that for something like the Steam machine than I would like the ROG Ally X, let's say, you know.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, especially with the fact that Steam OS is so much further ahead of the Xbox full screen experience.
I know, right?
Jesus. They're way ahead. It's already working. Xbox is like releasing products with this idea half finished.
Yeah.
It's like, we're like, it's Windows, but like it's just like it's not running like all of Windows sometimes, but you do, if you go to Windows, then it's running Windows, so then you'll have to stop and turn it off. And then it'll be like running the kind of Windows again. It's like, this is not it, you guys. Like,
Right.
Oh, but first, before you play your game, let us update your calculator, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microsoft Office 365.
They're working on it, right? I mean, they will match Steam OS, I think, at some point. But boy, they're just behind with everything.
Yeah. I think one thing that's not being talked about as much too with this announcement that I've seen is also the VR headset. I haven't been like a VR adopter just yet. I think that there's a lot of options out there that are really, really consumer friendly on the price side. So it would make sense to jump into it. But I remember the Valve Index coming out and being very impressed by like what it had to show and like what it was offering. But again, it was a model that was like way too expensive. I think when it came out, it was like close to $1,000, if not more. So I do like that. It seems like they have like a consumer friendly, a little bit more competitively priced model that they're coming out with. I mean, I guess we technically don't know what the price of it is yet, but I would have to imagine it's probably going to be less than $1,000 if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, the only companies that are coming out with really well-priced VR headsets is Meta right now, and they have openly admitted that they're losing a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
Just to get people kind of into the I don't know what you'd call it. Ecosystem, yeah. So yeah, you could probably safely expect, VR headsets are not cheap to make. They're incredibly expensive products. So, but if it's, again, like I was saying, the VR headset, if they can make something that's, closely relatable to the Meta Quest 3, which I think just hardware wise is a really good VR headset. But then again, make it more compatible with Steam, because Steam has a lot more to offer when it comes to VR games. It seems like they've been kind of doing it for longer, so there's a larger ecosystem there. So I'm excited to see what that's like. And hey, if these can all roll out around the same time and you can do like a grand package deal for cheaper, I mean,
yeah, it'd be awesome.
I might be down for that.
Yeah, definitely.
All that to say, I think I would jump in, depending on what the price is. I think I would absolutely jump into a Valve VR headset,
dude. Solves like my biggest problem as a quote unquote gamer is like, there are so many times where I want to play something, but I can't because I'm limited to where it needs to be played.
Yeah.
And like, this just gets rid of all of that. I would probably go back to my ESO saves that I have on Steam, because now I can play it upstairs. The reason I started playing on Xbox again is because I was tired. I was always chained to my damn desk when I wanted to play Elder Scrolls Online, and I hated that. And now I don't have to do that. And I wonder too, okay, they've got this dongle. I know we got to get to the topic, so we'll get there. They get this dongle that's you can plug into your PC and stream the VR games, right? Or stream not just VR games, but stream a bit like a big AR screen,
Yeah.
120 inch projected screen with your headset on of whatever game you want. Who's to say they couldn't they wouldn't start selling these dongles to just stream your Steam library anywhere you have a good internet connection, like a Fire Stick.
Yeah.
You know, plug
100%.
that shit into your PC or your Steam machine. So let's say, my bedroom is upstairs, and then we have like a living room up there, and that's where the TV and all the gaming happens for the most part. And this office is downstairs. So if I had a Steam machine upstairs on my big TV, and then I had like a SteamOS dongle plugged into the HDMI of my TV in my bedroom, and then I have my rig down here, I could stream stuff into my bedroom from my TV, the Steam machine right outside, or I could, you know, it's like, it's just all of these barriers are just gone. I buy a game once, I've got it on console, I've got it on PC, I've got it on Steam Deck, I've got it on wherever I want.
And you're getting the game for probably cheaper too, because even still, one of the advantages I've found to having a Steam Deck now, after it's crazy that this got announced because I just got a Steam Deck like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you can still buy games for absurdly cheap.
Oh,
you know,
dude.
off of those Steam sales.
I bought Anno 1800 for like $8 the other day.
Yeah. It's nuts, man.
Dude, I'm gonna get a fucking lap board and a wireless keyboard and mouse and play Total War on my giant TV upstairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
It's all open now. All the games, everything is everywhere now.
I've got a wireless keyboard and mouse, and I've got an HDMI shot straight from my PC to my TV because I definitely play some Total War on the big screen.
Dude,
absolutely.
It's like one of the few things that would make me feel like a child.
Yeah.
Right.
That's something about like a 72-inch screen or 70-inch screen, whatever I have up there, with like all of my Roman legions in sight like that.
Oh yeah.
What?
Forget
go.
about it.
Playing on your sound bar.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, with my subwoofer and everything. I mean, yeah, dude. Hell yes. All right, let's get into our topic today, gentlemen. This was a really good one. This is a good call. This is a good save. We were struggling this week to come up with a topic because I even played Alien this week, and so we couldn't get our EXP going yet. So we're like, what should we do for a topic? And Taylor mentioned this one. This is one we actually have done a very long time ago, or at least something similar to it or akin to it.
Yeah.
This one's really fun.
Yeah, it's so fun. I'm very curious to see what you guys came up with. There's one that I'm very proud of. There's one that's kind of like a cheat, but we'll get there. We apologize. We didn't get this topic to like kind of settled on until later. Taylor, thank you for posting on our Discord. We did get one write-in, so I figured we would just open with the write-in, and then we'll start going around.
Cool.
I can't wait to hear what franchises or developers would you like to see either combined, or what kind of game would you like to see your favorite developers make? Million different connections you could do here. So, Cream Lord wrote in, and he says, I would like to see Remedy do a Matrix game. Max Payne and Control's gameplay is already pretty close to what I think a Matrix game from them would look like, and I'd love that. Enter the Matrix on PS2 is one of my favorite games on the console. I remember playing that on OG Xbox. I'd love to see something similar to that someday. In-depth, hand-to-hand fight mechanics like a Sifu or something on top of a great game. Great gunplay could make for a really unique experience. Love that idea.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's funny you mentioned as well, Matt, you bring up Max Payne and Control's gameplay. There's the game that they made in between those, which was an Xbox exclusive. What the hell was that game called? The Time game. And it had the guy
Time Splitters?
No, and it had the guy who played Littlefinger from Game of Thrones in it.
Baelish, yeah.
Remedy Xbox Time game. Quantum Break.
Quantum Break. I knew it was Break something.
Quantum Break. And the main character is also Kyle. I don't know if you remember this. The actor who plays the main character in Quantum Break, He is in the very beginning of Alan Wake 2. He's the like young sheriff that you meet in the morgue.
Yes.
It's the
I do
same
remember that.
actor, and
Yeah.
sometimes games and movies and directors and stuff will like just cast the same actors. But the fact that Control and Quantum Break potentially and Alan Wake are all in this same universe, the fact that it's the same guy makes me wonder if there's something going on there. I haven't beaten the game, so I don't know if that is, but interesting little thing there. That would be awesome. Quantum Break had like time stopping and slowing mechanics, kind of like the Matrix, like when Neo puts his hand up to stop the bullets or whatever. So I definitely see this. Definitely see this.
That would be really cool.
The image that I get like conjured in my head too is like if you're playing as Neo or something, and like you're doing the slow-mo kind of like jumping to the side while shooting your two Uzis, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gameplay from the Matrix. I feel like that would be really, really cool. Running on walls,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a great match.
Yeah, just like
Max
slow
Payne
motion.
was a lot of fun.
Well, the funny thing about that too is like the third Max Payne was made by Rockstar, and I think that would be another good example of how gameplay could work in a Matrix game. The really good slow motion, like diving and sideways shooting with your pistols and all that.
Bullet time.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, really good one. Lord of the cream. Appreciate that.
Always bringing the cream.
Anderson.
If you're listening and you have a great one and you want to tell us about it, if you want to write in, we'll read it. We can read it. Well, not next week because it'll be Experience Point, but the week after. Next time we do a regular TSG episode, we'll definitely would like to read
2
more
weeks.
examples of these a couple weeks from now. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Kyle, do you wanna kick us off, man? Give us your first one.
Yeah, where should I start? As I kept exploring, I was like, man, I want to add this, or maybe go with these developers here and like place it here. So I've added a couple where I'm like, okay, there's like a couple studios that I would like to do this type of game. So we'll just kind of go from there. The first one that I had to think of, anytime I think of like what sort of game do I want to be made that's great, outside of a couple games recently that have come out, but I've always really wanted a Star Wars game that fully satisfied me. I feel like we haven't really had that since KOTOR. I really like what are the Star Wars games I've recently played. Jedi Fallen Order and those ones are those
Jedi
two games
Survivor.
are really good. Yeah. But didn't quite quench my thirst. And who I would want to do it, and this is actually a two-part thing. So I would want CD Projekt Red to do it, to do either like a Star Wars, or it could be like Mass Effect type universe, because of what they've done with Cyberpunk, and obviously we all really trust them. I would love to see a Star Wars that's a little bit more dark and gritty, and not even necessarily involving any Jedi. Probably playing some sort of rogue in some, planet far away, and just some sort of like really dark and gritty game, kind of like similar to like Cyberpunk, but in the universe of Star Wars.
Yeah, like
really
on like
cool.
the
Bring
lower
back 1313.
Yeah, the lower
Yeah.
levels of Coruscant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, or I would also do the same thing with like Mass Effect would be really sick too. I'd take either one of those universes, and I know CD Projekt Red would just absolutely destroy those.
Yeah.
That's a Mass Effect game I would definitely be looking forward to.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
CD Projekt Red, I feel like doing a like sci-fi. I know Cyberpunk is like kind of considered that, but like more of a spaceships kind of
Like
Mass
a
Effect
space
sci-fi
opera.
would be really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Star Wars,
absolutely.
Star Wars and Mass Effect to me are both like they're space operas, right? Like
For sure.
that's the best way to put it, and I think they would have a lot of fun with that. I think, no doubt.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job. It's funny. So we have some crossovers, which we'll get to. I'm trying to decide which. I have a CD Projekt Red thing and I have a Star Wars thing, but they're not the same.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yes.
definitely. I want to hear this then.
Yeah, it's funny. But Taylor, let's hear yours. I'm so curious.
Yeah, so This one, I was trying to think of some ideas that I've had in the past, and only two of them kind of came to mind for me. But one of them I was discussing with some friends the other night. I would love to see like a Monolith Soft make a Legend of Zelda game. And
Okay.
there's a little bit of history with those two studios. I think most recently, Tears of the Kingdom had Monolith Soft work on some of the areas or help them with like the environments. And I've always wanted to see a Legend of Zelda game that takes the RPG like mechanics of the original Zelda games and kind of turns it up to 11 while also adding in some stuff that I think that Western role-playing games do really, really well. And I think that they could be a really good match together. I remember in the lead up to Breath of the Wild, I was thinking that um, there might have been some more inspiration from like a Bethesda or something. Like I think that they might have seen like the success of Skyrim, and I thought that's kind of where Legend of Zelda was going to go. Like when they made an open world game, is to make like a seamless open world that you could explore, and then there would be little dungeons right where you would go in and have some quests to do that you'd have to solve, and then like almost in a Skyrim style way, the map would lead you in kind of a circle that would sort of take you back to the entrance of the dungeon, and you'd be done. Um, Not the case. Not obviously what ended up happening. The shrines were kind of more like little puzzles rather than they were dungeons. So I would love to see like a Monolith Soft kind of give their JRPG touch to it, or maybe even something like a From Software. Like I don't necessarily think the dark, gritty style of From Software would fit Legend of Zelda, but I would love if they took that same RPG sensibility, that same combat sensibility, and turned it into like a fully fleshed Zelda game. And I think that that would be like potentially, if they could make that happen, that would be like a like favorite game of all time for me. So yeah, either one of those two studios, I would love to see take a crack at something more whimsical and Legend of Zelda based. So that's kind of one of the ideas I thought of at first.
Heck yeah.
What are you envisioning the art style would be of that Zelda game? Like, what would it look like?
I think you would probably want to retain the same feel that the Zelda games have, except maybe make it a little bit more like a little bit more stylized. Like I'm thinking like the art style from like Twilight Princess. I would like to see them kind of go back to that more dark fantasy
Okay.
style.
Yeah.
Um or maybe something like a Berserk, I think would be kind of cool for like a Legend of Zelda universe. Like almost take like a Studio Ghibli type environment, but just make it a little bit darker, a little bit more dark fantasy
Okay.
infusion. I think would be really, really cool.
I'd be
For
all about
Zelda.
that.
Right?
Heck yeah.
I'm always curious at how each Zelda entry gets approached by its developers. Like they clearly set out with kind of a different vibe and feel and direction for each one, and I don't know. It's always so different.
Yeah.
It's a very
100%.
like that's a good franchise to sort of like put through different filters because it's kind of already what happens just on a more
Yeah.
limited Nintendo scale. But
Yeah.
yeah, super cool. Love that one, man.
Love it.
Um,
What you got, man?
I'm gonna start with my Star Wars one.
All right.
Nice.
I was hoping you'd choose one of the two.
I'm gonna start with my Star Wars one. I want Larian to make KOTOR remake.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Full
I like that.
on, like fully voice acted, animated, extremely high production value. But let's do KOTOR. I mean, they already did Baldur's Gate 3, right? So they could do KOTOR 1 remake or KOTOR and then KOTOR 2 remake, and then they could make their own KOTOR if they wanted to.
Now, are they doing an isometric RPG or are they doing third person?
I think it would be kind of that marriage that Baldur's Gate 3 had, where
Okay.
if you grab a controller, the game will recognize that you're on controller when you traverse the world, and kind of have that third person like view. I know it's a little bit raised, but just you could be third person as you're controlling, but the combat would be like Baldur's Gate 3, like
You can really adjust the camera angle
Yeah.
in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun way to change up. It doesn't have to be the exact same. Like, I think it would be more fun if it were completely, truly 100% turn-based and a little more tactical with all the force powers and the Jedi and the people with blasters and like you've got the sniping the sniping blasters and all the mines and like all the different.
Oh yeah.
There's so many different things that you could
putting
do.
them behind cover and
exactly. Yeah. So sort of almost like an XCOM like an XCOM style, but like not that hardcore. It would be a Star Wars game, right? So it'd be a little more forgiving, I think, than Baldur's Gate 3 or XCOM or whatever. It'd have to be a little more accessible, but I love that control scheme. The idea of like having that fully, really beautiful looking combat, but fully like turn based. And then you run around the world kind of in third person with your party. Just imagine like the voice acting and writing talent to like rewrite Bastila and Karth and all these characters, these great characters. You could have your character voice if you wanted. I don't know if you would or not. Probably not. I mean, it wasn't in the main, in Baldur's Gate 3, so you'd leave them. But I just think that would be super cool. All the choice and consequence. The multiple endings. I mean, it's all there. It's all like it's what they do. It would just be super cool to see them combine and bring KOTOR back.
Yeah.
Bring KOTOR back. God.
That's funny. I do have a Larian Studios as well.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's awesome.
I mean, obviously, we're gonna pick all the best developers. But.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely.
Oh, of course.
Well, Kyle, it's your turn, man. What's your Larian one? Unless you're saving that one.
So, no, you're fine. This one is either Larian Studios or In Exile because I also think In Exile is just as good.
They're excellent.
As Larian Studios with that style of game, and I was thinking I love turn-based games. That have really good stories attached to it. So obviously you can't think of anybody else but Larian Studios in Exile. So, but my next game that I would like of that is like a more modern SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs. I want that to come back.
Oh, okay.
To have that tactical, just a small group of like 4 elite soldiers going on intense missions. And Larian Studios in Exile is going to, provide a lot of like political intrigue and really cool story to it that can kind of develop a little bit more of a liking for your squad as you go through these very grueling missions. So I've always really loved SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs. When I played those games when I was younger, I was too young to really understand how to play it, but I thought they were so badass.
They were really cool.
Yeah. So I would definitely love to do something like that.
Yeah, that's cool. SOCOM is like a name that I feel like Obi-Wan. I'm like, that is not a name I've heard in a very long time.
Yeah.
It's such a forgotten franchise. I feel like it was really, really big when I was a kid. And kind of like you said, Kyle, I was way too young to understand any of it, but I saw army dudes with cool guns and I was like, man, I wish I understood what was going on in here.
Yeah,
I'm sure I really like it.
I struggled to play those games, but I freaking loved it. And when I would finally like have like a sort of clean mission and to hear like your squad mates as you're kind of directing them, you'll see a guy, down in the distance and you come up with this plan and strategize. One of the guys takes him out with a silencer and you can hear Tango down, like it's just like, dude, I love everything about this environment. I want somebody to bring it back. So yeah, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, obviously, I feel like Larian is more of a fantasy, pure fantasy type of developer. Of course, they could probably nail anything that they put their mind to. But so I think I'm leaning more in Exile with this one because they do have more of a that type of style. Where Wasteland 3 is definitely more of a like military esque type feel to it. So yeah, I would love to play another SOCOM game again.
That's a great poll, man.
Yeah.
That's kind of a classic Sony franchise that I always keep assuming they're just going to randomly bring back.
Right, you'd think.
It never happens. It's like Splinter Cell, right? Anytime Ubisoft's like, we've got an announcement for you. It's like, oh, Splinter Cell?
Dude.
They're like, no, it's like Rayman Origins.
Do you remember when we we were watching the preview, Taylor, and you and I both were like, "Is this Splinter Cell?" We were like
Yeah.
excited. I'm like, "Oh no!"
We're like, no, not the Netflix series.
Not the Netflix fucking cartoon.
"Oh man, that's not what we wanted."
That's not what we wanted,
I know.
dude. We should start playing through those like throughout the experience point picks. If anyone wants to pick one, just start from the beginning and work our way through it. That'd be a fun. I have not
That'd be
played
cool.
all of those games. It'd be super cool.
The first one I remember playing a little bit of right when I got my Xbox Series X, because it was the first game where I took the actual Xbox original disc and put it in the
So
console.
Oh,
It was a really, really cool experience. It was tough. It was a tough game too.
Yeah,
It
difficult.
is, yeah.
I remember it being like not. I remember having a hard time being like, "What the hell do I do next in this area?"
Yeah.
I just didn't even know where to go. It's just like very much just like it just gives you one basic objective. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, man.
Yeah.
Where do I go here? I just like walk around the same alleyway. I'm like,
I remember it was difficult for me to tell if I was like in a like dark enough spot, you know what I mean?
oh yeah, to be
Yeah.
hidden.
Like I remember I would kind of go between corridors, like trying to keep out of sight of the enemy, but I was like, is this dark enough for me? Like, and then I would get spotted, you know, and the alarm would get raised, and I was like, I thought I was in a pitch black part of the map, but I guess
Yeah,
not.
I guess
you
not.
know?
It's like they were able to see your glowing green eyes or something.
Right.
Oh
sound.
man. Okay, that was awesome. Yeah, love the SOCOM poll. Taylor, what's your next one, man?
Okay, so I originally only had 2 of them, but you guys talking about Star Wars, I of course had to come up with a Star Wars pick.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Look at, you see how deprived we all are? Come on,
I
guys.
know.
Mhm.
God, I love some Star Wars games, man. Just inject it right into my veins. Okay, so my pick that I just thought of right now is I would love to see Respawn, so the company that did Titanfall, that did Jedi Fallen Order, and Survivor. I would like to see them go back to their first-person shooter roots, and I would love to see them make something with Republic Commando.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, I would love to see that. I think that their games always feel immaculate from a first-person shooter perspective. I mean, just the hits, even some of the guns in Titanfall remind me a lot of those like DC-47 blasters or whatever that the Republic clones have. So
Mhm.
I think it would be really cool to see them do like a remake of Republic Commando, or maybe even follow some of the expanded universe books and maybe have them do Imperial Commando,
Yeah, I was just gonna say that'd
or
be a
something.
cool sequel.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like that game is like one of my favorite Star Wars games, like bar none. And I just think you would want to have a team who's already very, very intimate with Star Wars, right? Like they know that universe, they know how to make a great game, but bring in that first person shooter blood that we know that they have infused in so many other franchises, and just bring it to one that we're already familiar with. So I think that's a no brainer for me. So
Heck yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
We need something good from Star Wars.
We do.
Clearly, that's what we're going for in
I'm
some
fiending,
way or
man.
another. In some way or
Yeah.
another. Okay. I have a couple different ones I was trying to decide between on what to do. I have a creative assembly one that I want.
Nice. Okay.
There's kind of 2 different ones, but because they have 2 different like versions of themselves, right? They now have their fantasy and then they have their historical. They haven't done like a hard nitty gritty historical Total War in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want. You were actually talking about. It's funny, Kyle. You were talking about. I think you mentioned playing Empire. Did you say you played Empire Total War at all?
No, I was playing
Playing as the Empire.
as the Empire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
It made me think of Empire Total War for some reason
Okay.
when you said that. And I've always wanted a fully fleshed out sequel to Empire. You could literally call it Empire 2, that takes place during like the Victorian era, like the 1800s, and it's a world map. and Britain is at the height of its power. The Industrial Revolution is happening. You're like building train railroads all over the country. You know, you're dealing with all of like the huge amount of trade across the world. If you decide to play as America, an event halfway through your campaign is the Civil War. You know, you got to deal with the Civil War. Like basically a game from like 1800 to 1913 or something like that, like right up to World War I, where it's like you have the very beginning, like the first like iron and ships, like the actual battleship, like really early on, and like so it would be cannons and muskets in the beginning of the game, and at the end of the game you'd have like really early, like almost World War I era stuff.
Yeah.
I just think that would be such a cool, because Empire kind of went for that, but earlier time period. But you had like the Americas and India and Europe and like bits of North Africa and stuff. It's like let's just get like most of the world in. Treat it like Warhammer, right? You could do sections at a time and have it all.
That'd be cool.
Have like one huge world map that you're playing on. I just think it'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
It's like the time period is like crunchy enough for the history nerds, but it's also really flexible for those who like the different styles and stuff of gameplay from Warhammer, because you've got every faction feels so differently, but you'd have the technology would be a big deal. So it'd be hard to do, but I've just always really wanted that from Total War. And then on the other side of that, I feel like they're not doing it. I think they're doing like, they might even be doing Star Wars apparently, or like Warhammer 40K as well, which is interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was, aren't they also working on a Game of Thrones thing too?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Yeah,
maybe it wasn't Creative Assembly, but I remember recently somebody announced they were doing a Game of Thrones.
There was like word about a Star Wars Total War, which I guess would be like Empire Total, like or not.
I remember that.
Do you remember the what was the name of the RTS? Empire at War. Star Wars Empire at War.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it would be something like that. I'm not sure, but I always felt like Lord of the Rings was the next obvious Total War franchise.
Cool.
I mean, come on.
You took it out of me. Yeah.
Did I steal your other one?
No. If you weren't going to say it, I was going to say, I was like, I've also got Creative Assembly. It needs to happen. Lord of the Rings needs to happen.
Dude,
100%.
absolutely. Like the Orcs of Mordor, and then the Uruk-hai of Isengard, and the Lothlorien elves, and the Rivendell elves, and the dwarves, and I mean, come on. Like the goblins, all of that would be so perfect. It would be so cool.
And the
Gondor.
soundtrack.
Oh, dude, can you imagine like your capital city being Minas Tirith? It'd be so
cool.
fucking awesome. Or they could go like way further back, and it could be like the war with Morgoth, and there's like Numenor, and well, it wouldn't be
like
after,
a
that would
different
be
age or
after
whatever.
Numenor, but like like you could do like the war with Morgoth instead if you wanted to like add in different factions that people don't know about, have a little more creative freedom.
Yeah,
because I mean, in the war with Morgoth, like Morgoth had dozens of the fucking Balrogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like those were like war machines, like war elephants for him. Were Balrogs?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine a Balrog as like a unit?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I mean,
oh man,
come on! Oh my god, it just writes itself. Anyway, so those are my that's like my hybrid pick. I wanted to get those two for Creative Assembly.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That needs to happen
for sure. I feel like that's another franchise too that like big fans like us are like really fiending for like another good game in that universe. You know? Yeah. Key word on that one.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
dude. Well, that's prime years of our childhood, man, and the movies were coming out and followed up with good games, and yeah, man, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, man,
Just had like an onslaught of amazing games for both of those franchises too, like right around that time.
Yeah, it was like we couldn't get enough of both of those universes, man. And they were just hitting one after another. I think we were pretty spoiled, and so
oh yeah, 100%.
To have this, to have everything kind of like dry out for like what feels like, I don't know, a decade at least. It's like, give us something, man. And so when Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order came out, I was like, this is pretty good. Like,
yeah,
something, like give us something, man.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, Kyle, I believe you're up next.
Oh yeah. I've just got one more.
Perfect.
I really like the Paradox developers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to try out more games. I wish they weren't so freaking addictive because I would play more of them, but I just know I'll get so sucked in and I won't be able to escape from it. The last time I played Crusader Kings 3, I was like,
oh god, that game is so
and
good.
that was right around when I was in between jobs too. Ian, you remember? It was like, dude, days would go by and I'd be like, what happened? Like, I cannot stop playing this game.
Who am I?
It's like DoorDash to the office window. You're like,
Yeah.
Dude. It's so bad. But I want to see Paradox do either a Dune game
woo.
Okay.
or Game of Thrones. And initially, I was thinking with Creative Assembly that I was like, maybe I would want Creative Assembly doing Game of Thrones, but I feel like with Dune and Game of Thrones, it's really important to have the political intrigue involved.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where Paradox really excels. So I would love to see Paradox do, either Dune or Game of Thrones to add in obviously the big picture strategy of things, but then also add in all those pieces that they're so great of just like random like political things happening that you're having to react to in the moment. I would love to play one of those games.
For
Love
sure. That's
that
an
idea,
awesome
dude.
one.
Dune with all the houses,
Yes.
the political houses.
Did you ever play that game? There was like an RTS Dune game called, I think it was Spice Wars, that came out like within the last year or two.
I heard of
It was it was on Game Pass and I played it a little bit and I was like, I don't like this on the controller and I want to try it on PC. So I'm definitely interested in playing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if that was probably not exactly what you were looking for on that side of things, but I think that was the last time I remember like a Dune game with that same sort of concept in there. Is that more like Civilization? I don't actually know. Like
yeah,
Dune
I didn't get too far into it because it was really the controls on a controller were just so bad that I was like, I can't do this. This was a bad port over, but it seemed like a cool concept. But yeah, it definitely felt like a more like Civilization feel to it. But I just think Paradox would just do it so much better. They've already made Stellaris, which is just, it's adjacent to what you would want to do with Dune, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have the intergalactic travel and have those type of wars and stuff like that in battles. So I think Paradox.
Stellaris?
Yeah, I've got to play it. And there's a lot of content to that. A lot of content.
Yeah, I was just starting to learn the game. I was like, this is really cool, but I don't think I'm going to have time for it.
No, dude, yeah. I love Paradox, but man, you guys make games where you just cannot step away.
No.
And it's so good.
Yeah, I would say that's one of the few like strategy games, Crusader Kings 3 specifically,
yeah,
where I played a campaign all the way to the fail state, kind of knowing I was going there, but it was just like the story, kind of the story that was coming out of what was happening and me learning the lessons of my actions and how things worked was fun. Even though I ended up failing, I died. Like my line ended, I was killed, but it was so fun. It was like I had a great time, and it was like, no, yeah, you played the campaign and you just didn't make you just died. So try it again. It was cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's a really, really, really good idea. You guys are killing it. All right, Taylor, do you have one more?
Yep.
Cool.
I got my last one here.
Hell yeah.
So my last one here is kind of was brought upon playing through Kingdom Come Deliverance and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 now. But and we've brought up this franchise several times now, but it's something that's just been in my head ever since I've been playing Kingdom Come, and that is I would love to see like a Game of Thrones or like a Song of Ice and Fire game made by Warhorse Studios.
Oh man,
I think it seems like the perfect universe to play such a grounded, like have a developer create a very grounded RPG in that can sometimes be brutally difficult, but also at the same time, I think too that sometimes there's not like a ton of combat like in the Game of Thrones universe too. And I just remember plenty of times playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 where like there were plenty of quests I went on where I never drew my sword once, and it was literally just dialogue and talking from one person to the other and like lying and scheming, and like I just could see them doing those dialogue trees so effectively in something like Game of Thrones that does have some of that political intrigue, but also like I could easily see them making a game where like the sword combat is just like, the parrying and like the realistic grounded combat and parrying and riposting and all of that good stuff too.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's what I think of every time I play it. Like I can almost picture it in my head too, like as I'm walking through like Ratai or like some of these villages too, where you've got the like cottages or whatever with like the smoke rising from them. Like I can just see like in my mind's eye the image of like the north or something with like a big, Winterfell, like a big keep, and you're like walking up to the gates. Like it just seems like a match made in heaven. And playing those games almost feels like they're almost making their pitch to try and get into like a more like grounded RPG Game of Thrones game.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you got that same feeling too, Kyle, but like it was kind of one of the things that I feel like I clocked. Maybe it's not there, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but like I almost feel like Kingdom Come is kind of like their pitch to being like, we would love to work on a Song of Ice and Fire style game.
Give us like a real popular IP and we would kill it. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And dude, when you were texting us about that, I was like, you son of a bitch, that's such a good idea.
Like,
I
Matt,
would
it
play
wasn't
the hell
yours?
out of it. And I would specifically too, I hope that if they did do that, that I would want to play like a character like Brienne of Tarth, like a knight that's like kind of not really stuck with any one house, but is like such a valuable like soldier that you don't really have to deal with too much of the political intrigue, because I think if they get too far into that neck of the woods, it's kind of not necessarily what Warhorse really does.
Mm-hmm.
So I think focusing on something of just playing some sort of knight that is just so talented that everybody kind of sees value and kind of utilizes you to their advantage, to where you're not really necessarily making those decisions with the political intrigue. The story kind of just moves along for you, kind of like how it works with Henry. He doesn't really get to make those big decisions because he's not really an important person of status,
right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, he's kind of helping further their needs, or
he's at the mercy of whoever's in control at that moment.
If you want to get into the political machinations, you check in with the Paradox game that Kyle had.
For sure.
Game of Thrones, and then you go back and forth.
But hey, if they can nail it, whatever. I
Choice
would
of
hope that
consequence would be cool.
Yeah.
It's just like in Kingdom Come, like there's so many like parts of the game where you're like almost in a I can't think of like the medieval version of it. So you guys have to help me out. Like a conference room, basically, where you're like
a hall
in the room. Yeah, like where you're deliberating over things with very important people. And like just the way that they write the dialogue in some of those scenes, like I could see that being like a small council meeting and like
they're so
King's
good
Landing
at that.
or something that you're in on, and like maybe helping to influence people in that way. But yeah, I just think that it's an easy fit,
Yeah, Warhorse is so good at like every character that is in that game has such good dialogue. I mean, even if it's like some like maid that just walks into the room and is like handing everybody their food in the meeting, the maid will have like some sort of like, one or two liners that are just, they're still impactful somehow. And so, I really love whoever are the writers for Warhorse Studios. That'd be awesome. I would love to play a Game of Thrones game from them.
For sure.
Yeah, it'd be super cool. I don't know if I could do it, but I kind of just like can't with Game of Thrones. Last season. But it is a really good universe and makes sense. There's so many different ways to adapt it, especially with video games. Like so many options for that. Okay, my last one, and then we're done. I think. So I had a couple, and I couldn't decide between. So I had a CD Projekt Red one, but it wasn't fully realized yet. I'll tell you guys about that one in a minute. But the one that I want to go with as like my actual final one is I want Machine Games, which made the Wolfenstein, the two most recent Wolfenstein, and then they just made Indiana Jones as well, which I've not played yet.
Me neither.
I need to
Gotta get
play
to
it,
that
man.
soon.
It looks good.
It looks awesome. We'll play it. We'll definitely play it at some point. I want Machine Games. I love the way their shooting feels in Wolfenstein, especially. I want them to either make their own thing or take up this franchise that is long dead. It's a Gearbox franchise, which Gearbox makes Borderlands.
Mhm.
And they make what was the other game they made there for a little bit? Borderlands is their biggest one recently. They had a series during the original Xbox called Brothers in Arms. And it was a heavily story and character based tactical first person shooter that took place during the Second World War. You played the same squad through every game. The main character in the first and third games was Sergeant Baker, and it was kind of like Band of Brothers. If you've seen the show, the limited series Band of Brothers, where
Great show.
follows this one company of airborne troopers, paratroopers, through their real life events throughout World War II. And it follows it from the beginning through to the end, right? You have the same characters as they die or different things happen to them. You follow the same crew. And you really, 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 really get to know them and like them. Brothers in Arms was literally like, they were like, we're going to take Band of Brothers and we're going to make it a video game. And it was like, it's a first person shooter where you give commands to your squad, and there was an actual tactical mode where it would back out. The camera would zoom out, and you would see where your characters were and where the Germans were. And the enemy AI was really advanced for the time, and they were very challenging. And you had to you had a gunner, and you'd have to tell them to go to this spot and lay down covering fire, and then you take your two riflemen and go around this way and command them to give grenades, and then it would go back to first person and you're in it and you're firing, and just dealing with a squad of 9 German soldiers was freaking difficult. I mean, they were it felt like you were almost playing online, the way that they reacted to things. I mean, not quite, but close. It was and they could kill you in a couple of hits. So it was this kind of grounded World War II game, but it was just so much about the characters and the music and the events and what happened. And then you had this kind of tactical, really, really good first person shooting on top of it. It just kind of disappeared. And I've always wanted someone to do it. And I just love the way that Machine Games shooting feels.
Yeah.
And I really like the story. The stories they told in Wolfenstein is really good. It's kind of like a Inglourious Bastards, sort of over the top Quentin Tarantino style, but it's serious at the same, just like a Quentin Tarantino movie is. It's can be funny and erratic and manic, but also very serious topic.
Yeah,
and it kind of felt like that, and it's just they did a really good job. I love the characters in that game, and I just feel like if they were to take on that and that whole franchise back on, whether it's remaking the first one or making something really similar to that. But I miss World War II in video games.
Me too. Yeah,
it doesn't happen anymore, and the only time we ever do get it is just Call of Duty, and it's okay, well, I want one of these really single player focused campaigns with characters and stuff.
Yeah, why don't they? Yeah, I totally agree with you. I feel like oftentimes when we get these war centered shooters, it's just multiplayer games, and I feel like there's a real avenue for just really focusing in on one character in a brutal, whether it's World War II or Vietnam War or whatever the case may be, and just focus on just the story and being a really good shooter in that, a single player game. I would love to play something like that.
That used to be commonplace.
Yeah.
Brothers in Arms is a blast, by the way.
Yeah,
that's a really good game.
That sounds fun.
It's a super good game. Well, maybe we can do an experience point someday. That'll be a fun. It's quick too, and it's pretty short.
Yeah,
they made 3 of them. So the third one being on 360, and I remember it being decent, but I don't know what happened. They made this it was called Brothers in Arms something, and I remember them because there was one more game, and it was going to be the story. They're paratroopers, and the last one would have been like Bastogne, like the forest in wintertime.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Bulge is what it's called, famously. Like, that was the next story bit, and we never got that. They released some weird, like, goofy, kind of Inglorious Bastards style, like, class shooter called Brothers in Arms, and everyone who played Brothers in Arms was like, "What the fuck is this?" And it just killed
Wow.
it just killed the franchise. Nothing ever came out after that. And Randy Pitchford's insane, so I wouldn't trust him to make the final entry into that game series anyways. So anyway, my other one was I'm not going to get into it. Was I thought it would be cool to do if CD Projekt Red did like a Castlevania.
Ooh.
Oh, okay,
Like
yeah.
Witcher,
I like that.
third person preset character, like you'd be like Trevor Belmont, just like you were Geralt. And play it like kind of like Witcher, but you'd be Trevor Belmont. You'd have the whip, and
That would be super cool.
All the different abilities, and you're fighting the undead and the vampires and Dracula and all that. I thought that'd be really sweet.
It would
Heck
be.
yeah.
It'd be like Castlevania 64, but much better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just the way Konami's starting to like farm out development. Wouldn't that be crazy? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
Play the shit out of that.
Okay. Well, that's all of our. I could probably come up with 3 more so easily. It'd be so fun.
You're right.
I know,
We'll
right?
definitely do this again.
I was just thinking too. I was like, CD Projekt Red would do great with like a Mad Max universe.
Yeah.
I think
Ooh,
that too, yeah.
I like that a lot. Did you
Yeah.
play the newest Mad Max game by Avalanche?
No, I didn't.
It's fun.
I didn't, but I heard it was good.
Is it?
yeah.
It's a fun. It's like a very mid to late 2000s style open world like checklist game.
Yeah.
You know, like the sort of like Far Cry or I don't know. Do you remember
Right.
the game? Do you remember the game Mercenaries for the original
Yeah.
Xbox?
Oh yeah.
Kind of like that. Where it's like this like sandboxy, but you have your car and you upgrade your car, and it's got really cool vehicular combat, and then it's got like the combat from like Batman.
Yeah, I was gonna say Arkham Combat
Like
is what I remember.
the Y to like Y is counter, and then X is
Mhm.
beat up.
Ah yeah.
It's like beat 'em up. So and it's good. It was fun. I didn't finish it, but I really enjoyed it. I'd like to go back to it someday. Maybe it's cool. It's a
Heck
good game.
This is fun, man.
Yeah, this was awesome. Taylor, great call. If you're listening and you have an idea for this, either save it for the next time we do another round, or if you want to just send it because you just can't help it, let us know.
Yeah, we'll read it.
I saw Miles mention, I think it was in Discord, that he couldn't believe that he'd never heard of Observer, and it's like
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was
exactly what he wanted. So I'm glad that we got him paired up with Observer. That was awesome. Yeah. Any final words, gentlemen? Anything you got going on this week you want to talk about, or
I got
before
one more
we-
game.
You do? I thought you said the
I
last
just
one
thought
was
of
the
one.
last one.
I just thought of one right now.
Okay, well,
If we're just talking about dream games,
all right, make
I
it
want.
quick. I'm kidding.
All right, I want 2K. I want 2K to make another NFL game.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
dude. Did you
Yeah.
just see they re-signed?
No, I didn't. But oh joy.
Yeah. So not to burst that bubble,
Yeah.
but
I mean, we knew it was coming. I that's what the expectation
I was. Hoping, man. I was hoping it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially after EA got bought out, it's like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
money is the only priority. They don't care.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like what prop betting is doing to sports.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of destroying it all, well, just
Right.
bit by bit, until we're
Yeah.
until all of it's like WWE. We're all just
Yeah.
prop betting on a bunch of fake stuff.
On
That
a
stuff
stage
is so
show.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that doesn't happen. Hopefully there's some action taken that helps reduce some of this gambling crap. But that's a conversation for another time. All right. No final words then, huh? Nobody has anything to say before we go other than I have another game.
I guess. No. I will say that we had the finals, League of Legends finals this last weekend, Saturday.
Shit.
It turned out to be a banger. Another full 5-game series went to game 5, and Faker did it again.
He did it again.
He adds another one.
He added another. I don't know how many.
Another
he has,
piece of
dude.
hardware.
It's insane. Yeah, he's up there with like Brady. I think he's got 6 or 7 or something like that.
Damn.
6, 7.
6, 7.
That's crazy.
No, but yeah, it was cool. I only watched game 5 though. I mean, it was played out in Korea, so they don't stream it until like 1 or 2 in the morning here. So that's the only downside. And then when you try to pull it up on YouTube to watch the replays of it, I see that there's game 5, and I'm like, well, they went to game 5, so I'm not going to watch the first 4.
No, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It spoils it. It spoils it for sure.
Yeah. So game 5 was fun though. It ended up kind of being lopsided, which that just tends to happen sometimes. A couple plays that happen early, and these elite teams, they just roll with it, and especially when you're T1, these guys have just been doing it year after year, and it's just like playing against Tom Brady. You just can't make mistakes.
Dynasty.
Yeah, you can't make mistakes.
Yep, that's that. And then as soon as you do, it's over.
Yep.
And I think like some of that, like other people know that and they feel that, and it actually impacts how they play.
Oh, 100%, 100%. There's a very real fear of that team. T1 has always been successful, but Faker's always been in the front of it, and it's funny because he plays in the mid lane position, and there's always like some talk about like this really great mid laner that's playing very well. Like Chovy is always talked about as one of the greatest of all times. And then anytime he ever plays against Faker, he just comes up short, and people can't explain it because during the regular season, he's like Peyton Manning. He's always he's always like the best player on the field. And then you show up in Foxborough against Tom Brady, and it's just not good enough for whatever reason.
It's so funny, like the amount of analogizing we can do with football and like anything else like that. It's like the best way to explain something.
They're just it's always the perfect analogy. I don't know what it is about it, but
when everybody if you watch football, you get it.
Yeah. If you watch football, it's like we can make sense of anything in life. Like, look, this moment, this is kind of like your third down. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the most dad shit
exactly.
ever.
So they just got to punt,
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
But especially with League of Legends, it's like our American teams are just so far out of like the competition that it was like 5 years or so ago. I was just like, you know what? I'm just here to watch Faker just be great at this point. And now I'm just kind of
embrace it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of a fan of watching how incredible it is that we're seeing, because it's just one of those things like I've talked about before. Is this hardly ever happens.
Yeah,
so
it probably
it's just
won't
fun to
for
watch.
a long time.
Yeah.
So very cool, man. Yeah, well, congratulations to T1 and Faker winning it yet again. All right, guys. I think we're going to sign off for the evening. Thank you for a great episode, gentlemen. That was a blast. Next week, officially now, next week will be our Alien Isolation experience point. So you have until Wednesday, November 19th. If you want to finish it and not worry about spoilers and all that, you got 7 days from the time that we're recording this. So from the time you're hearing it, 1, 2, 3, 4, you got like 4 days. So if you started, you might be able to do it if you have enough time, 18 to 20 hours. Just depends on what you do with your days, I suppose. So we'll see you next week for our next episode of The Experience Point. But until then, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful, safe weekend. And we will catch you all later.
See you guys. Stay safe.
Later.